The NFL offseason has always been a breeding ground for speculation, blockbuster rumors, and fan-driven excitement, but few stories have hit the rumor mill as hard in recent days as the whispers surrounding a potential trade involving Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys and the rising speculation about Shedeur Sanders potentially being drafted to America's team. These developments, while still speculative in nature, have ignited passionate debates across sports talk shows, social media platforms, and fan communities alike, with insiders like Schefter weighing in and only adding fuel to the already blazing fire. The thought of the Cowboys, a team built on decades of tradition, bold moves, and star-studded talent, even entertaining the idea of parting ways with one of the league's most dominant young defenders seems outrageous to many. Yet, NFL history has shown time and again that no player is truly untouchable, especially when front offices are chasing rings, recalibrating their strategies, or preparing for long-term roster flexibility. Micah Parsons, since entering the league, has been nothing short of phenomenal. With a rare blend of speed, power, football IQ, and positional versatility, he quickly cemented his place as a cornerstone of the Cowboys' defense and one of the league's elite pass rushers. He's drawn comparisons to legends like Lawrence Taylor and Von Miller, and for good reason. He wreaks havoc on opposing quarterbacks, sets the tone on defense, and is often the most athletic player on the field. For the Cowboys, he's more than just a linebacker or edge rusher. He's the soul of the defense and arguably the best draft pick they've made in the last decade. So why would a team even consider trading a generational talent like him? It's a question that strikes at the heart of roster-building philosophies, cap management realities, and long-term planning in today's NFL. While the official word from Jerry Jones and the Dallas front office has been a firm denial of any such trade talks, claiming that the idea of trading Parsons has never been uttered in the organization, the NFL landscape is fluid, and such declarations have often preceded shocking moves in the past. Adding to the intrigue is the supposed interest from the Cleveland Browns, a team that's shown an increasing willingness to be aggressive in pursuing elite talent. The Browns, despite fielding one of the more competitive rosters in recent memory, have consistently struggled with consistency and injury woes. Their defense, while solid in stretches, could greatly benefit from a game-changer like Parsons, someone who can not only pressure the quarterback but also anchor a young unit and elevate the players around him. The Browns have draft assets and some intriguing young players they could theoretically offer in a deal, though pulling off such a transaction would likely require a massive haul, both in terms of players and high-value draft picks. Financially, both teams would have to make serious moves to accommodate the cap implications of a player like Parsons, especially considering he'll soon be due for a contract extension that could reset the linebacker, edge rusher market. For Dallas, parting ways with Parsons might be more about strategic redirection than talent evaluation. With an aging roster in certain key areas and the looming need to invest in their offense, they might be tempted by a package that allows them to address multiple needs at once, especially if they believe their defense can still function without its brightest star. But let's pivot to what might be the most electrifying component of this storyline, the growing buzz around Shedeur Sanders and his potential fit with the Dallas Cowboys. Shedeur, the son of Pro Football Hall of Famer Deion "Primetime" Sanders, has had an incredible college career, demonstrating poise, arm talent, leadership, and the kind of competitive edge that has NFL scouts salivating. From the moment he transferred to play under his father at Colorado, Shedeur showed that he was more than just a name. He was a legit quarterback prospect capable of carrying a program, thriving under pressure, and executing a modern, pass-heavy offense with precision. His college highlights showcase his deep ball accuracy, his escapability in the pocket, and perhaps most importantly, his football IQ. Being raised in a football-centric household, Shedeur has often been described as someone who sees the game like a pro, even before entering the league. Now, rumors have swirled again, spearheaded by reports from insiders like Schefter that the Cowboys are seriously scouting Shedeur Sanders as their potential quarterback of the future. This is particularly notable given the current contract situation surrounding Dak Prescott. Doc, who has been the face of the Cowboys' offense for years, has faced criticism in big games and has a contract that could soon become problematic for the Cowboys' cap flexibility. While Jerry Jones and head coach Mike McCarthy have publicly supported Doc as their guy, there's been a quiet undercurrent suggesting that Dallas might be eyeing a transition plan, especially if they fail to make a deep playoff run this season. In this context, the idea of drafting Shedeur Sanders starts to make strategic sense. Bringing in a young, dynamic quarterback could not only give the team financial breathing room but also signal a new era for the franchise. Imagine the headlines: Shedeur Sanders, drafted by the same franchise his father once starred for, leading the Dallas Cowboys into a new era. The marketing potential alone is enormous, but beyond that, it's a football decision that could pay off handsomely if Shedeur develops into the star many believe he can become. His maturity, leadership, and charisma have already been praised by scouts, and pairing him with an offensive coordinator willing to build around his strengths could accelerate his development significantly. But for Dallas to land Shedeur, they'd likely have to trade up in the draft unless they miraculously land a high pick organically. This could involve moving valuable assets, maybe even a player like Parsons, in a larger strategic shift designed to reshape the Cowboys' core identity. The combination of these two storylines, the possibility of Parsons being traded and Shedeur Sanders being drafted, raises fascinating questions about the Cowboys' future direction. Is Jerry Jones planning a soft rebuild, aiming to reload with young talent while maintaining competitiveness? Is there a disconnect between what's being said publicly and what's being considered privately in the front office? NFL franchises have often made moves that shock fans in the short term but make sense strategically when viewed from a long-term perspective. Trading a player like Parsons would be a bold move, the kind that could define an entire era of Cowboys football. Similarly, drafting Shedeur would be a signal to fans in the league that the Cowboys are ready to turn the page and build around a new, exciting talent. Of course, none of this happens in a vacuum. The reactions across social media have been passionate, divided, and extremely vocal. Cowboys fans, who've grown attached to Micah Parsons and recognize his game-changing presence, are understandably skeptical about losing such a player. Many view him as the defensive MVP and the type of player around whom championship-caliber defenses are built. On the flip side, there's a growing excitement among younger fans and draft enthusiasts about Shedeur Sanders. His swagger, his talent, and his family legacy make him one of the most talked-about prospects in recent memory. If Dallas can manage to make both moves, parting with Parsons in exchange for draft capital and using that capital to secure Shedeur, it would represent one of the most dramatic roster overhauls in recent Cowboys history. At the same time, one must not ignore the risks involved. Trading an elite, proven player like Parsons for the potential of a rookie quarterback always comes with uncertainty. Draft picks can bust. Young quarterbacks often need time to adjust. Fan backlash can be swift and unforgiving if results don't come quickly. But fortune favors the bold in the NFL, and if Jerry Jones believes that Shedeur Sanders is the next face of the franchise, it's not out of character for him to roll the dice. After all, this is the same organization that once mortgaged future draft picks to acquire players like Amari Cooper and has made splash moves to keep its brand at the center of the NFL universe. Ultimately, whether or not the Cowboys go through with trading Parsons or drafting Shedeur Sanders, these rumors reflect a team at a crossroads. They're competitive, but not quite Super Bowl caliber. They have star power, but also face cap constraints and aging players in key spots. The choices made in the next draft and offseason could determine the trajectory of the franchise for the next decade. Do they double down on their current core and make one more push with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Parsons, and company? Or do they pivot, embrace the youth movement, and build a team around a young quarterback with star potential? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain: the Dallas Cowboys remain at the center of the NFL's most compelling storylines, and whatever happens next will be watched, analyzed, and debated by millions of fans around the world.